Hey guys, I decided to make a small change to the series. I changed the scoring system quite a bit, and I feel like I wasn't doing these series right, and I mostly compliment instead of criticize, and I'm not really helping people improve. So the new scoring system is appeal, where you can get 7 out of 7 in that category, animation, where you can also get a 7 out of 7, structure 7 out of 7. Basically all of them are 7 except for replay value and editing. Ease and I, so there's Ease and Eyes, which also you can get 7 out of 7, and then there's art where you can also get a 7 out of 7, then there's transitions where you can get a 7 out of 7, and replay value and editing for 3 out of 3. You can get a total of 48 points in total, and if you get above 25, you get a like, otherwise you don't really get anything. And I'm not going to be as nice as I was before and just give it high scores and give the most honest critique. And also above 30 you get a subscribe, because yes. So first is Leah Wright, I think is how you pronounce this. She requested her "You Look So Good" meme collab, and her character is not right, just saying. So let's take a look at that. And I'll only criticize her character. So let's score it. For appeal, it gets a 2 out of 7. It isn't very appealing. The animation just isn't smooth at all. For animation, I give it a 2 out of 7. There is animation, but it's not very good in here. It's not very smooth. I think the frames per second should be higher, and the tail movement either needs less frames or higher FPS. When I speed up the video, it looks much better. Also, while animating the tail, try to make the frames as similar to the last as possible, and make sure the lines go just in one direction and not go up and down. The second tail movement is very unrealistic and choppy, and it's not as good as the first one. Here, I'll show a quick example of how to animate the tail. In the way you try to do it, this animation is not smooth as I animated on the computer, and I'm not very good at it, but it still look better if it was something like this. When animating, try to keep the lines as close together and identical as possible near the start of the tail. Try to adjust what frames per second suits you best. And after you animate the animation, try to see what frames per second looks the smoothest and the best. This animation looks like it was made at like 8 frames per second or 12 frames, so try 12 or 14 frames per second for structure. The structure needs improvement. It's alright though. The timing is pretty good. I like how the characters change position and expression at the same time. For Ease and Eyes, I give it a 4.5 out of 7. The colors together aren't too bad, and I personally like this palette. I think it would look better if the liner was a different color, such as maybe a dark purple or dark red. It looked much better. For art, it gets a 2 out of 7. The art is not the worst, it just isn't that good. The anatomy is off in so many places, such as the hips, the torso, and the arms, and the head looks too flat in some of the drawings. Also, there are overlapping lines where there shouldn't be, and it just doesn't look too good, and there are some white lines too. For transitions, it gets a 1 out of 7. The transitions are not good at all. I think that if you had a bounce tween in between each pose, I think it would look better, especially when the frames are flipped. It just looks off and doesn't look good without them. For editing, it gets a 1 out of 3. There isn't really any editing, only possibly audio, but I think that was from the audio feature in Flip Clip. And for replay value, it gets a 1 out of 3. It doesn't really have any replay value, and it's not very good. So your total score is a 16.5 out of 48. My voice is still broken, yay. Next person is Kazix Mix. Disgusting! A hard to pronounce username. No, JK, I'm not pre-K Russell. So they requested they're taking memes, so let's check this trash out. Okay, so when we actually look at it, the animation art at the start is not too bad, to be honest, and it's pretty smooth actually. This was more than I expected, to be honest. The animation is great. It's really smooth. I like it. Okay, so let's just score it already. For appeal, it gets a 5 out of 7. It looks really good. The walk cycle at the start is pretty good, and just how all the animations look together. For animation, this gets a 5.5 out of 7. The animation is great. Just at the start, on the walk cycle, the back and the stomach kind of move around a lot, and it looks a bit odd. It's still really good. I also think that there should be more happening, like more angles and expressions. For structure, I give it a 4 out of 7. The structure is pretty good. The timing is good, and everything just looks very well together. Like seriously, good job on this. Now on eyes. This gets a 5 out of 7. It looks really good on the eyes. The color palette is pretty good, and the editing is a bit much, but still easy on the eyes, which is good. Now for art. I give it a 5.5 out of 7. It looks really good. It's not the best, but it's still good. I just think the neck in the front view looks a bit odd, but it's still great. For transitions, there isn't really much, but it's still really good. So I'll give it a 4 out of 7. There are quite a few in-between frames. Most animators just do one in-between frame and call it a day. It's great. I really like it. For replay value, it gets a 3 out of 3. I have replayed this so many times, and it's great. For editing, I give it a 3 out of 3. It's also great, and looks very well with the animation. Okay, so my final thoughts. This animation is definitely great. The animation is very smooth. I think there should be more animation transitions in the last part especially, but this is great. I can't wait to see what stuff you'll make in the future. I hope you continue to make such great animations with many transitions and a lot of things happening, so it's not boring. So your total score is 35 out of 48. This is great. I actually really like this. This video gets a like from me and also a subscribe. Now, for the last one is Molly owned by Coco, and she requested her South Park greeting meme, so let's check it out. Okay, so now that we've watched the animation, we can score it. For appeal, it gets a 4 out of 7. It looks pretty good. There's just some parts that need improvement, but I'll get into that later. For animation, I'll give it a 5 out of 7. The animation is mostly smooth, as some parts, such as the lip sync near the end with the snout, is a bit choppy and needs some improvement, but everything still looks great. For structure, I'll give it a 4 out of 7. The structure is really good and everything works well together. I really like it. For ease on eyes, it gets a 6 out of 7. The colors all work well together and the color palette is nice. The colors aren't too contrasting. For art, does it have art? No, definitely no art at all here. Okay, just kidding. Yes, it does have art, and it's great, mate. I give it a 5 out of 7. It's not the best, but not the worst either. It's definitely decent. For transitions, it gets a 5 out of 7. The transitions are great, but in some parts there could be some sliding to make it look better. But it's great. If there were too many sliding transitions or bounce tweeting or something like that, it would not look good at all. But I think for the parts like where Kenny talks at the side, there could be a sliding there could be some sliding to make it look better, but it's still great. It's still great. And where Kenny cries, there could be a bounce between when he opens his eye. I think that looked really good. For replay value, it gets 2 out of 3. I watched this so many times, but there could be a few more improvements for even higher replay value. For editing, the editing is not too bad, 2 out of 3. My final thoughts. Coco is honestly a great animator. The majority of her animations are smooth. Some parts can be choppy at times, but they're still great. To fix the choppiness while animating, make sure that lines are close together as possible and make the lines go in one direction only, or it will look like it just won't look right. Like for my example where the tail is moving, the lines near the start of the tail only go in one direction and then it's reversed. So the total for Coco is 33.33 out of 48. This gets a like from me and a subscribe if I wasn't already subscribed. So that's it for this video. Do you like this type of content or do you not? And just let me know in the comments below. I'm not gonna get triggered for you having opinion. We're all human and we all have our own opinion. If we're all the same, this world would be boring. So just let me know what you think. Okay, see you later.